Everybody, what's going on? It's me, the Lead H. We live action. You already know what it is. Here to bring you the very first review of Gundam Iron-Blooded-Orphans of the first episode. Now, I'm glad to put this up on my channel. This is yet another anime series I will be reviewing weekly on my channel alongside Bleach. Well, Bleach, is in manga form, but you get what I'm saying. Now, of course, we all know I'm a big Gundam fan, so I don't know a lot about the series, seeing as how it was just released. So, this in comparison to Bleach, it's night and day as far as knowledge goes. However, I took down some notes, but there are some things I'm going to point out as far as similarities, staples, and cliches that I noticed in this episode. But as far as the cliche part, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a bad thing. Now, of course, to me this episode was done very well. It was done in this form to where it can keep you hooked in. It can keep you wanting to come back for more. It wasn't one of those things like, I don't know about this series. However, you have those two types of people out there. You have one who would judge an entire series off of one pilot episode. One episode. And then you have the ones that's like me, like, well, you know what, it's just the first episode. The first episode, like, you can't just knock something unless when you see something, you could just really feel it like, man, this art style, this character design is not really for me. But, pacing can fluctuate all throughout the series. So, the series, the main character is Mikazuki August, and of course is mainly focused around him. They call him Mika for short. Mika and his friend Orga. Now they are part of the CGS, the Christ Guard system. Of course, they're orphans, and the whole thing about this, they're stationed on Mars, and there's an independent movement regarding Earth and Mars. Now, of course, we have this one female in there that reminds me of Relina Peacecraft. She's, of course, Kudalia Bernstein. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Basically, she's trying to go to Earth to support the movement, and she needs to be escorted / protected by the CGS. And that's when the third group, which is Mika, I believe Orga, and a few others, are there to escort her. Now, the thing about it is, you have the enemies, the Galahorn. Galahorn, they are like the Ziana, Earth Federation of the series, as you will. And of course, the Senator, which is the father of Kudalia, he is the one who sold out his daughter. Giving Galahorn the whereabouts of where she's going and what she's trying to do. And of course, she's going to need protection. And that's why Mika, CGS, they're coming in to help with that, to provide the services. But throughout the episode, one thing I did notice, outside the staples and everything, the good things, to me, the pacing was very good. Very good. There are some little snippets and things that leave you with wondering questions, especially just this whole thing. There is this thing called the Calamity War that took place 300 years prior to the entire series, and the main Gundam, Gundam Barbatos, which is piloted by Mika, that Gundam is stationed there at the CGS, and it serves as like one of the main power sources of the actual base. So I did like that because it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, damn, when they're gonna need that Gundam to fight, their base is damn near left defenseless because the power is just basically all gone. And this Gundam, it's an ancient mobile suit because you have mobile workers and then you have mobile suits. Mobile workers are those tank type things with the two cannons on the top that we've all seen, on the sides that we've all seen in the preview. And I don't know who piloted this Gundam Barbatos 300 years prior. I don't know how they got into the hands of the CGS. These are just the many things that are just left for questioning, all throughout the series. And this just leaves doors open for side chapters and OVAs and mangas, things like that. And I'm really going to be curious to see about all of this because I'm really liking the series. I like the vibe of the series. I like the music. Now, granted, yes, it doesn't look as beautiful as Gundam Unicorn, but it still looks good enough in my eyes. And I like how each character got a good respected amount of screen time. For the first episode, everything just seemed stretched out enough and balanced enough, and as far as Galahorn. Now, yes, every series, people are going to like some villains. They're going to like some villains, just flat out. And me, there are some villains that caught my eye. And those villains are, we have Ian, because this is the thing. The Galahorn units that are going to attack the orphanage, well, actually they were going after Cordelia, but of course they went to attack another target, this other base area that was in the CGS. And the thing is, you have, let's see, Ian, he's the rookie, Lieutenant Crank, and Captain Orlis. Now those three were sent out. Now, one thing I noticed about Lieutenant Crank, he is the one, you know, the way his appearance, like he has the rough, look like he's in his late 40s, late 50s, mid 50s. He has that rough, rugged look. It looks like he is the one who loves to be in war, but apparently that's not the case with him. He doesn't like unnecessary casualties because Captain Orlis, he was the one who just said, forget it. We're just gonna start destroying and killing, you know. Maybe we're fleshed out that way, but I don't think that's the case. He was just bloodthirsty. He was psycho. Even Ian, he was wondering about it. He was questioning Lieutenant Crank. Yeah, I'm still gonna get their names down pat, you know, because I remember when I was first getting into Bleach, man, getting those names remembered, you know, that was a little bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna get these names down pat. But Lieutenant Crank, you know, he told Ian, like, look, let him be, fine. Captain Orlis wants to be like this, forget it. You know, he's on his bloodthirsty race. He was just destroying all the mobile workers that the orphans were trying to fight back with because they came in grazes. Grazes are the actual mobile suits that the Galahorn the Galahorn faction has. And they have these axes, a single axe, and they have their rifles. And you know, mobile workers compared to the mobile suits is night and day. Night and day. That's why you have all these mobile workers that are piloted by these orphans. They were actually concerned and worried, like, damn, we're gonna die. And at this point during the invasion, you seen Mika run off. And I already knew, like, oh yeah, I know where he's running to. I know where he's running to. And at one point when things were looking like everyone's gonna die, you know, that's when you see some of the power get drained out of the main facility. And then of course, because the Gundam is held in the secret dock, the engine room. That's what they call it. It's just held in there. It's secret. And of course, we see Mika. He comes out with the Gundam right on time as one of the Grazes piloted by Captain Orlis was geared to strike down Orga. He was getting ready to get killed, and here comes the Gundam Barbatos with this mace, the big ass mace, hits the Graze. Beautiful animation, falls down, and I love how the music was playing from the trailer. It was done very well, but I knew one of the staples. I knew it was going to end right there. You know, once the Gundam showed up and everybody was looking like, damn, and then you notice you've seen blood dripping down from the side of Mika's face. Now, I don't know if this is the first time Mika piloted the Gundam, but one thing I did notice about Mika and Orga is that they have these 3 holes protruding out of their spine. And the thing is, it's like their spine, those 3 holes are kind of sticking out because you see them doing pull-ups and everything. And it was talked about a little bit when Orga, he was talking to one of the characters in the series. They had to go into a surgical treatment, and I believe it's called the Alaya-Vijnana. Well, I know that. The Alaya-Vijnana system. I believe that's the name. But of course, it's basically something that only ancient mobile suits need and use to operate, because even those things sticking out of their back, you know, their spine, there's this little casing that goes over it to allow them to sit back into the mobile suit, and it locks in the back of the cockpit, similar to Gundam 00 with the security system. Because with Gundam 00, they have the suits on, and you have the little socket, you know, on the back of the suit, and then it plugs into the back. And then they do the retinal scan for security purposes, which is a good idea because we all know throughout the Gundam series, Gundams have been getting hijacked all the time. So there's about time they put a good security system. But this right here is only for ancient mobile suits. It's the organic device system. That's what it's called. So this doesn't, to my knowledge, this does not apply to, wait a minute, I think it applies to the mobile workers. I believe so. But in terms of like Galahorn and their mobile suits, the gaze, I don't think it applies to that. But also, you can't forget the Char of the series, which is Major McGillis. He's like the Char of the series. And then you have Galio. Galio is like the right-hand man, the kiss-ass, the suck-up. He's the guy with the purple hair who's always up under McGillis. You know, you can tell. And he reminds me of Gyune, you know, the series. You know, even though Gyune, he wasn't really like kissing Char's ass, because Gyune actually didn't really care for Char, like Char. He was just caught up with Quest, you know, this female thing between him and Char. But he did remind me of Garma from the UC Century, excuse me. And I forget the name of the one guy with the purple hair from Gundam Unicorn. That's what he reminds me of. And I actually seen, I did heavy research. This is a tiny minor spoiler. I did research. I believe Captain McGillis or Gelio, they will have their custom colored Gaze mobile suit. And I think it's like a light blue or light purple. But if my memory serves me correct, I think it's purple. And if it's gonna be for Gelio, it makes sense because the guy with the purple hair from Gundam Unicorn, his mobile suit, I think the what's it called? The Garazulu? I think that's the name. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. His was all purple, you know? And the things I liked about the series that seemed familiar but stood apart, we see his armor roll. Never seen a Gundam before, never piloted, but he automatically knew how because he's a new type. We see Kira Yamato, never heard of the Gundam before, never seen it, but he automatically knew how to pilot it because he is the ultimate coordinator. But yet we see in this case, Mika, he never went to school, he could barely read, so I guess the organic device system is very similar to the mobile workers as it is inside of the mobile suit. So I guess that's how he was able to pilot the Gundam effectively. But of course, if that's not the case, he's not really used to it because he was dripping blood. I guess it took strain on his body because they have to connect to it. However, I don't know if someone put that little casing on his back and maybe that's why he was bleeding trying to pilot it. We don't know. So many questions. We see in the beginning of this episode, they show Mika and Orga. They were little kids. It seemed like Mika shot somebody, killed someone. Orga had blood dripping down. I mean, who knows? But we see the girl who reminds me of Kudelia. She reminds me of Relina Peachcraft. It seems like she's gonna like Mika, you know, just like with Hero and Relina and things like that. Maybe Lala and Armorall, you know, things like that. But see, Kudelia, she actually wants to be looked at and treated on equal terms as the people on Mars, you know, and well, the people that comes from the orphans, you know, the orphans of the CGS, because she wants to fit in, you know, she doesn't want to be looked at as, oh, you're snobby, you think you're high and mighty, get away from me. She doesn't want to feel like that. But yeah, you know, it has the little blood in the series, you know, that I do like. I like the theme of it, the tone, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, oh, and I forget the name of it, but there's these generators that the Gundam possess. That it actually is used all throughout the series, not just in Gundams. That I think the Gundam Barbatos has 2 of those generators, and that's how he's able to supply power to that orphanage. And the things that I'm thinking about this series, how things can go, who's going to defect from what faction, who's going to fight, who's going to betray who's going to die, and how much you want to bet. Every time I find a main character or a sweet Gundam or mobile suit that I really like, he dies. Like Ian, I'm gonna keep my eye on that motivator. I know for a fact he's probably gonna die, or maybe his suit will get upgraded. But I'm just excited about this series. To me, first episode done very well. Because the last Gundam series I watched, oh yeah, I finally watched the Gundam Build Fighters. You know, I marathoned it on YouTube. It was better than what I thought. I mean, I'm not gonna like sucked in fan. I'm not gonna have the shirts or get the models or fully represent Gundam Build Fighters. It was watchable. I mean, I'm not knocking you if you really like it to that super degree, but it was watchable. I watched the whole thing. I watched a little bit of the second series. I thought it was gonna be a complete direct continuation of the last series. I know it took place some years from the last series. To my knowledge, maybe I missed something. The main character from the first Gundam Build Fighters, I don't think he was in Gundam Build Fighters Try, but like I said, I didn't finish the whole series. I left off to when the main character fought Destiny Gundam. The one guy that was the boxer. I really did enjoy that episode because Destiny Gundam is one of my favorite Gundams. And to see him in the better animation and to see that Gundam fighting in a way that you never would see him fighting in, I did enjoy that. But overall, give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Tell me if this Gundam series has potential. Tell me if you think it's not for you. Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching the video. It's me, the Elite Ace. See you all next time with my Gundam Iron-Blooded-Orphans episode review titled Iron Blood. Signing out.